The Netherlands is known for many things, such as windmills, tulips, and cheese. But there is one thing that you definitely shouldn't mess with: Dutch criminals. From alleged torture containers to the Dutch cocaine trade, these criminals have a reputation for being ruthless and organized. But why exactly are they so feared? Let's delve into the world of Dutch crime to find out. Let's begin. In June 2020, a warehouse in Rosa Plantage, North Brabant, shocked the world when it was discovered to house an underworld prison, complete with a torture chamber. This was a frightening revelation for many who already view prison as scary. The discovery led to questions about who was behind this operation, who were the intended victims of torture, and who the detainees were. The warehouse was raided by officers who found 6 men suspected of planning kidnappings, hostage takings, and torture. It was later discovered that this warehouse was not the only location involved in criminal activity, as a second warehouse in Rotterdam was also suspected to be a criminal base. The police made these arrests and discoveries with the help of evidence collected from encrypted messages. The messages were accessed through hacking an encrypted phone provider called EncroChat. The hack gave the police access to millions of texts sent between criminals, aiding their investigation. The North Brabant Underworld Prison was composed of 7 sea containers, 6 designed to act as jail cells with handcuffs that only allowed the prisoner to stand crouched over a chemical toilet. The 7th container was a torture chamber. The police reported these horrific findings, which made the world uneasy. The hacked messages that were collected revealed some disturbing details about the facility located in North Brabant. Among these details were pictures of a container with a dental chair inside, complete with armrests and footrests with straps on them. These images suggested that the criminals were prepared to commit horrific torture. The messages also referenced abduction and torture and referred to the facility as an EBI, a Dutch acronym for a high-security prison with a treatment room. The authorities quickly devised a list of suspects, as they had a good idea of who might be behind this brutal operation. The primary suspect was a 40-year-old man from The Hague, known to be involved in drug trafficking. In addition, he was linked to leaked text messages referencing abduction, torture, and the North Brabant Underworld Prison. The police had been monitoring the storage facility in North Brabant since mid-April, where they observed several men working on the sea containers almost daily. One of these men was a 44-year-old from Novagin who met with the primary suspect and another known accomplice, a 43-year-old man from Rotterdam. These suspects were easily identified by the police thanks to the EncroChat messages and their observations. Investigators decided to take action when it appeared that the underground prison was almost complete. They discovered that the containers had sound-insulating plates, thermal heat insulation foils, and handcuffs fastened to the ceiling and floor of every cell. The cells were also monitored by a camera that was hung in the corner. However, the discovery of the prison was just the beginning of the uncovered horrors. The police found a variety of disturbing torture devices, including finger clamps, claw hammers, pliers, pruning shears, gas burners, tie wraps, duct tape, scalpel blades, and wire cutters. All of these items were contained in 2 large bags. They also found a large freezer big enough to hold multiple people, a mortar tub for waterboarding victims, and black drawstring bags to be pulled over their heads. In addition to these items, the police found police clothing, bulletproof vests, and flashlights in one of the containers. They also discovered 3 stolen vans, 2 fast BMWs, and a sleeping area for prison guards in an adjacent room. The discovery of these items and the underground prison itself was a shocking reminder of the depravity that exists in society. The police's quick action in investigating and shutting down this operation was crucial in ensuring the public safety. The encrypted messages also referred to a second warehouse near the A16 motorway in Rotterdam, where the police found 7 firearms, including a Chinese variant of the AK-47 assault rifle. Many suspects were spotted at both warehouses, and 11 other sites were raided by the police, resulting in the discovery of 24 kilograms of MDMA in a Rotterdam home and 25 weapons in possession of the suspects. Through the intercepted texts, the police identified the intended victims of the kidnappings and torture and warned them to go into hiding. Following this, the suspects became confused, with one of them sending a message asking where the targets were. The containers were believed to be tended for the confinement of a 37-year-old Dutch Iranian called Ali D., known in the underworld as the Underworld Banker, due to his immense wealth and high status. He is involved in arranging criminal activities and has connections with numerous criminals. Ali D., a former banker in the underworld, was previously employed by Rotterdam's notorious coke smuggler Roger P., also known as Pete Costa Pitt. Costa, who earned his moniker from frequent trips to Costa Rica, is a well-known player in the Dutch cocaine trade, but remained largely under the radar until his arrest in 2020. Evidence presented in court suggested that his lavish lifestyle clearly indicated his strong ties to criminal activities. He frequently traveled between the Netherlands and South America, drove expensive cars, stayed in luxury apartments, and had access to large sums of money despite having no discernible source of income. Bottles of alcohol worth thousands of euros were found in the house where he was staying. The question remained, where did all this money come from? Intercepted messages referred to Ali D., or A1, who stole approximately 100 million euros from Pete Costa. On April 10th, Costa wrote that A1 had robbed him heavily in Dubai with the help of his Iranian associates. In the spring of 2020, when police accessed several encrypted PGP services and intercepted criminals' communications, Pete Costa's name emerged. As authorities sifted through the criminal message traffic, they made a disturbing discovery. Pictures of sea containers and insulation material had been sent to Costa. The sender described the location as isolated and said that one couldn't hear anything even if standing beside it. According to legal records, Costa had sent these photos to someone else, asked if they wanted to see their 10-man prison. He instructed them to keep the warehouse clean and keep everything separated so prisoners could scream without anyone hearing them. The upcoming abductions appear to have been meticulously planned, with multiple teams, an observation team, weapons, police uniforms, vans, stop signs, and bulletproof vests. The situation soon escalated as the criminal world's personalities were revealed and their disputes spiraled out of control. According to an official report, Ali was held captive by individuals connected to the Pete Costa camp, possibly to force him to pay up. On May 10th, 25-year-old Ibrahim Ibo was killed in Rotterdam. Costa's business partner, who spends most of his time in Spain, drove back to the Netherlands after the murder. He kept in touch with Robin van O, the owner of a gym in Utrecht, and wrote an encrypted but coherent message: "I'm not normally into this department, but there are now a few people who I hope I can torture." Intercepted chats via encryption provider EncroChat revealed that Pitt, Costa, and Robin van O were discussing the almost-ready complex with the torture chamber, which was being built by a contractor on the construction of the Underworld Prison, according to the Public Prosecution Service. However, the mystery remains unsolved. Moving on, there is another prospective victim besides LED. More information was discovered, suggesting that a 57-year-old criminal named Amit G. should have been jailed in Voza Plantage. The aim was to process MHG from Amsterdam in one of the torture containers discovered in Brabant on March 16, 2019. He and his daughter were shot near their home on the route of island in Amsterdam. They managed to escape the attempted assassination because the gunman's weapon failed. Amit is considered a key figure in the Dutch cocaine trade by criminal and judicial communities. Although 3 people were caught during the 4 raids, Amit seems to have escaped, and an international warrant was issued against him. The Amsterdam court convicted 10 of the 11 accused, and the suspects received prison time. Regarding the alleged torture containers in Voza Plantage, the suspects received prison sentences ranging from 1 to 9 years. One suspect was acquitted due to insufficient evidence. The judge considers Pete Costa to be the primary suspect, an undisputed leader of the criminal organization, as well as the instigator of the operation. Intercepted messages indicate that the entire operation was motivated by his desire to exact revenge on criminal opponents and torture them. The Public Prosecution Service suggests that an unconditional prison sentence of 12 years would be appropriate for his role. However, Costa was already sentenced to 15 years in prison in another case where he imported thousands of kilos of coke and was preparing to import a 25,000-kilo cargo. The most recent ruling required the court to reconsider the Rotterdam conviction and sentence in the torture container case. Costa could face a maximum sentence of 17 years and 9 months in both cases. The maximum additional time possible in the torture container case was 33 months in prison. As for Pitt's right-hand man, Robin Van O became terminally ill, and nature decided his fate as he passed away in June. What do you think about Dutch criminals? Share your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe the channel for more crime-related videos like this.